God gives us a revelation, perhaps we should not automatically assume that we know and understand what the revelation means. This is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, day number 1 of the double Torah portion. Yes, another double Torah portion. Bahar B'chukatai. Bahar meaning on the mount. B'chukatai meaning in my statutes. So let's begin with the first part of this double portion, Bahar. It takes place in Leviticus or Vayikra chapter 25 and beginning with verse number 1. And once again, just the opening verse gives us a lot of information, while we would normally just read right on by it and not pay any attention to that part. What does it say? And Yahweh spoke to Moshe on Mount Sinai, Bahar, on the mount, saying, and then he begins to give a discourse about the observance of Shabbat, the keeping of the Shemitah laws. We'll talk about that later in the week, that end up in the Yovel, what we commonly call the year of Jubilee. So we have a lot to discuss this week. Let's begin with this opening line. Bahar Sinai, the letters that spell out these two words are important to us. For those that have not studied Hebrew very much, and pardon me for those that have been studying for a long period of time, in our audience we have those that they are brand new. They're just beginning to discover anything Hebraic at all. So a little patience here while I explain something for some of you, what you already know. Bahar, it is spelled with the Hebrew letters Beit, Resh, and a Hey. Now, the Hebrew letters each have a numerical value. They each have a symbolic meaning or a picture. It is a pictographic language. The Beit is a house. The letter looks like a house. The Resh looks like the back of a man's head, kind of a elongated R-shaped letter. And it refers to the head one, the one who is the chief. And the Hey looks like a man with both hands up in the air, waving his hands and say, hey, look over here. Something is to be revealed or something is to be seen. So Bahar, or on the mount, it gives us the idea of the head of the house is revealed there. Interesting. Sinai, it's spelled with a samech, which looks very much like our alphabet letter O, a yod, which a little apostrophe-shaped letter, which is the hand, and a nun, which gives us the idea of a fish or something that is active, something that is moving, and then another yod. So the letter Nun, it's active, it's got several meanings. One of the meanings is the heir. It is a picture of the one who is the heir of the house. So the Samech being a circle, it gives the idea of that which is in boundaries, that which is protected. So let's put those letters together. Protected by the hands, the two yods, protected by the hands of the heir. So on the mount is where the house or the head of the house is revealed, and Sinai is the mount where we are protected by the hands of the heir. A very important understanding, because it's on Mount Sinai that we see the giving of the Torah. The Torah is the body of books of Genesis through Deuteronomy, Bereshit through Devarim, that traditionally we have been taught, well, all that's been done away with. We don't have to worry about food laws. We don't have to worry about altar laws and sacrifices and laws about being clean and unclean and all of that stuff. When you don't study it, when you don't break it down, when you don't derive meat from it, when you're not looking for the revelation of Messiah in it, The Torah can be just a legalistic code that the Jews are supposed to follow, but for the rest of us, it's just all that stuff, and it's not important. It's extremely important. It is the foundation of all remaining truth. Everything beyond the Torah, from Joshua through Revelation, those books are all commentary and facts and understandings and revelations that are based upon what has already been stated in the 5 books of the Torah. Yeshua says, if you don't believe Moses and the prophets, neither will you believe me, for they spoke of me. So Yeshua, the Messiah, the promised seed that is to crush the serpent's head, is revealed to us in the pages of the Torah. It's on Mount Sinai, then, that the Torah is given to us in the house of the head. The head of the house, the heir of the house, is Yeshua. He is revealed on the mount that gives us the Torah. And when he gives us the Torah, it reveals to us that the heir of the house, Yeshua, is going to surround us and protect us with his hands. 2 nail-scarred hands. The scarring of his hands are proof that he paid the ultimate price to protect his own sheep, his own people. The shepherd bears the scars of the battle he enjoined to protect us and to give us victory. Now, let's go a little bit further. At the time that we read this, the Mishkan, the tabernacle, has already been built. Once the tabernacle was built, the revelation that was given on Mount Sinai is now in a mobile format of this building or this tent structure and its courtyard, its altar, its laver, all of the implements that are involved in the production of Levitical worship. All of that is a revelation of Mount Sinai contained in a mobile model. If that is now the case, why would Moshe drive? Why would he climb back up on top of the mount? Or else, the information given in chapter 25 was previously given before the tabernacle was constructed. And now that the tabernacle has been constructed, now we have the ability to receive that piece of information. As I said at the opening, when we get a revelation, we don't always have the knowledge and understanding of what that revelation means. It may take a period of time. I do not believe personally that Moshe was called back up on the Mount of Sinai to receive additional information, but rather that now that the Ark of the Covenant has been constructed and the presence of Yah is moved from the mountain to over the mercy seat, it is from the mercy seat that he's now hearing and receiving the word of Yah. So why is this then listed out of chronological order? I think one of the messages just may be this. As the tabernacle was a revelation of Sinai, it is also an incredible revelation of who Yeshua is. When Yeshua is enlarged in his revelation to us, when we have a greater understanding, when we've grown in him and we see him more and more in the Word, not just in the gospel narratives where we see his living and his words and his actions, but we see him in the pages of the whole book, then there is an ability for previous revelations and previous understandings to take on greater meaning. Once we begin to embrace the entirety of Scripture as being legitimate and having application to our lives, not just the back half, then the stories about the heroes of Scripture and about the Psalms and the prophets suddenly become alive to us because we realize they're talking about Yeshua. They're revealing the Messiah to us. So we're able to go back to things that we previously received that we did not have the capacity to understand. And now that the Torah is began to be laid out for us from that foundation, we can have a greater revelation and understanding of that revelation on the mount. Let's climb the mount this week and find a fresh revelation of Yeshua. We'll see you again tomorrow. Till then, shalom.